Hey, everybody, we are back to recap
Bowl season
bowl season. We are here to recap college football
for 2019.
for the 2019-2020 season because it's over. No
Very unfortunate.
No more college football
Until September.
We got spring games coming up, but that's
Whoa.
But anyways, we do have to recap our bowl games. We always talk about the top 15 ranked teams, so we'll just talk about the bowl games that the top 15 teams were in. Starting out was the games that were on Saturday, December the 28th. We had Memphis, Penn State, and Penn State was just a little too much for.
Yeah, Penn State's been they've been a good team, but they've never been great. They've always been stuck between that middle barrier.
Yeah, a little mediocre. Yeah, they're almost a good team.
Big game James.
Big game James, but hey, they won this one, 53 to. I mean, they won by 14 points, so it was a pretty good win. Memphis was a pretty good team, but Memphis is not a Power 5 team,
which is pretty evident by the fact that their coach bolted for the Seminoles.
Exactly, and that might have had a little something to do with that too. We had Notre Dame taking on the 15th ranked Notre Dame taking on the unranked ISU.
Why didn't they give them a ranked matchup?
Well, we talked about it because they want to give Notre Dame a win. That's one of the best ways they could get a win.
Is by destroying Iowa State.
And they did 33-9, and we picked that one. That was a pretty good crush.
Notre Dame finishes the season 11-2, which is right around where Notre Dame would want to be.
Yep. We had I think the preseason's got them back in the top 10 again. So. You never know.
The Fighting Irish.
And then we had the first of our two playoff games, Oklahoma LSU.
Oh.
That was a destruction. We called that one. We picked that one. But
who could have thought Joe Burrow would just go insane?
Have 7 touchdowns at halftime?
7 touchdowns.
At halftime, it wasn't the full game. He took the second half off, only had 1 touchdown in the second half, still ended up with 8 touchdowns in that game. That's insane. 8 touchdowns.
Led by Captain Joe Burrow and the gigantic ship he was captaining.
63-28.
Jeez.
I guess Oklahoma against was the warm-up for the national championship game. Every year they squeak in.
LSU, they just used Oklahoma for a bath towel.
They used them to just get warmed up. You know, you got the little sparring partner you warm up with before you go out and actually fight somebody. That's what.
Oh, forget what I said. Jalen Hurts is he's a
very good quarterback. But Oklahoma still has zero defense because they play in the Big 12.
And Joey Burrow,
showed them that they didn't have any defense. Oh, it was just 4 touchdowns to that one receiver, wasn't they?
Yeah, I think it was either Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson.
It might have been Jefferson that had the 4 in that one.
Well,
that was
they
crazy.
just destroyed them that game.
They did, yeah. And then the second of our playoff games, we had Clemson, Ohio State.
This one is controversial.
That's a little controversial. There were some refs.
Ref ball, as I like to call it.
There was some ref ball in there. It was SEC refs in that too. So. I don't know. Maybe the SEC refs don't like Ohio State or something.
Ohio State debatably played better than Clemson
did. They debatably played a better game.
But Clemson made the plays they needed to make.
You know, if Ohio State wants to win, don't let the opposing quarterback run for 60 yards down the sideline for a touchdown. Maybe you can play a little defense there, Chase.
Chase Young.
Yes, but Chase Young was chasing the quarterback down the sideline. Didn't get him. But yeah.
But at the bottom line is Clemson made the plays they needed to make, and Justin Fields who's looked like a very solid quarterback all year long.
Yeah, just
threw it in the end zone. The INT.
The INT and the ENZ never works. It never works, especially when you're trying to win a game.
That's a painful interception too. I mean, it just sucked all the life out of Ohio State.
Yeah. I said I think Ohio State probably did play the better game. They might have been the better team, but They just didn't make the right plays.
They just
needed
didn't make
plays.
the right plays needed to stop Clemson.
Nope. All right, we'll jump on down to Monday, December the 30th. We had a top 15 team play that game. It was Florida versus UVA.
Overmatched.
We were talking about Virginia's the second ranked team in the ACC.
The ACC is awful this year.
They were just horrible. I think that's one thing that hurt Clemson a little bit. We'll talk about maybe here in a minute. Was they just didn't have the competition this year. So
They just trampled through almost everybody.
yeah, but Yada Florida, I think they were the highest ranked 2-loss team after the end of the season.
So the Gators pretty much got an appetizer, or maybe you call this the final plate.
The final plate of it, yeah. And then we'll jump on down to the 31st. We had number 11 Utah take on Texas. That was a shocker. The Utah Utes,
Crapping the bed.
they crapped the bed big time. I mean, 38-10. They didn't show up. They weren't ready for this game.
I guess that's what you get when you collapse against Oregon in the Pac-12 title game when you have a chance to go to the playoff.
Maybe so, but man, they just didn't show up. They just come to get their free DVD player and they go home.
Utah, you lost.
Yes. We'll jump on into the New Year's Day games. We had some really good games. Minnesota, Auburn.
Auburn pulling it. Auburn.
Who showed up? The losing Auburn. Yeah.
The L.
The L of the Auburns, yeah.
Yeah,
31
the
to 31 to
trail
24.
mix bag.
Now, congratulations to Minnesota. They had
One of
their
their
best
best
season ever
What in a long,
in a long time. So
The Gophers are having fun.
the Golden Gophers had a really good year, and they're not a year in year out powerhouse, so this may not happen again for a while. So congratulations to Minnesota.
Or this could be the start of something in Minnesota. Do you think it could be?
Good. You never know, but that's a tough place up there to have a consistent win.
And if their coach, PJ Fleck, can continue to keep this momentum going, he's going to have a high payroll.
Yeah, that's the thing. It will take Flick really continuing in it, yeah. And not continuing it too much to where an NFL team drafts him either. We had Michigan at Alabama in the Citrus Bowl. Poor old Michigan. They looked good for half the first quarter.
Probably the first half.
The first half,
And
maybe.
then Nick Saban pulls out,
Michigan was actually leading at halftime.
which kind of perplexed me.
You were. I was thinking in the back of my mind. Well, Alabama had given up. They're not in the playoffs, so they just quit playing. But he said something at halftime because they came out in the second half and went on like a 20-0 run.
Speaking of big game, James. Bigger game, Jim.
Oh yeah, big games. Yeah. There's like 2 of them in the Big 10, 12, ain't they? Whatever that
And
is.
they
up there.
fail every year.
They fail every year. Ohio State can change quarterbacks, change coaches, change staff, change and they still beat Michigan and Penn State. And you just don't, you wonder why.
I'll just save it for the Michigan fans, man.
Yeah, the Rose Bowl was a very good game. Oregon, Wisconsin.
Very competitive.
Very competitive. Oregon won 28-27, and that was right at the end, man. That was such a really good game.
And it was Justin Herbert, or I like to call him Justin Sherbert, because he reminds me of ice cream.
Yes.
Ran in for a big touchdown at the end of the game.
Yeah. So it was good to see Herbert go out on a high note there,
Especially when it goes to the draft.
I don't hate Wisconsin either. So I mean that was just a really good game. 28-27, nobody blew out anybody. That was just a good quality game. We had University of Georgia take on Baylor in the Sugar Bowl. Baylor put up a fight, but Georgia.
There's an interesting note to take from this that doesn't involve the game and the
Baylor,
actual in-game.
Baylor doesn't have a coach anymore, or do they? Yes, they do. Just not the same coach because Baylor's coach went on to coach the
Panthers. We
Carolina
finally
Panthers.
found my coach.
Yes, the Panthers have a head coach now, and they also have
their offensive coordinator, which we will talk about later.
We'll talk about it a little bit later.
But we'll talk about this game right now.
Congrats to Georgia on winning the Sugar Bowl and having another season of almost winning the SEC.
Oh, just a
just a little bit more.
You know what happens when Georgia does get to the championship game?
They lose it. Yeah.
But they just hired their new offensive coordinator. Guess who it is?
Who?
Todd Monken. You're going to love this guy's profile. He coordinated one of Jameis Winston's offenses in Tampa Bay recently. So good luck with that.
Well, at least they've got Fromm coming back. He's a good waste man.
Nope.
He's going to the NFL, ain't he? Yeah, never mind. On January 2nd, we're going to throw in an extra game just because it's Tennessee. Our great Tennessee Vols
that started the season off so
started
bad.
out 1-4
and raced out of that literally raced to
out
the
of that
finish
misery.
line.
Finished up the season
8-5.
8-5. So 7-1 to finish out the year.
Now let's talk about this game right here.
And by beating Indiana by 1.
Preventing Indiana from having a 9-win season.
For the first time in forever, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about this game. It's like the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Tennessee is down 13.
13. There's 4 minutes left of the game, and they're down 13 points.
And they found a way to win.
And they won. 472 games in college this year. That's the only time that happened.
How the heck does that happen? That seems like an assured victory.
You're down 13.
I'm not complaining.
You're down 13 or more points with 5 minutes left of the game. Tennessee was the only team in that situation to come back and win.
Not Alabama.
Nope.
Not LSU.
Nope.
Not Ohio State.
Nope.
Not Clemson.
Nope. Tennessee.
But Tennessee.
Yes. So we will brag about that. Hopefully our team is on the
up.
Because looking that way, hopefully.
Well, I'm really excited to see where this team goes. This is probably one of the greatest turnarounds our program has ever seen.
Definitely, yeah. It definitely is, yeah.
I mean, to get to 8 wins when it seemed very unlikely that would even get 2
the
at the early of the season.
The first 2 games that they should have won could have given Tennessee a 10-win season.
And probably in the polls at the end of the year.
Yeah,
but
so
we got some votes. I guess
we got some votes, yeah. And in the way too early preseason polls, Tennessee's ranked number 25.
Now I just wonder how long that'll last.
I don't know because Tennessee's got a tough schedule next year, going to Oklahoma.
Don't they always have one?
Yeah, this SEC. Well, we play an SEC schedule, plus we're going to Oklahoma. So, but
ouch.
hey, well, we've only got 1 game left in college football to talk about.
And here's the one:
Clemson, LSU.
The coronation of the LSU Tigers is complete.
Yes. Clemson came in, and I think LSU made a huge mistake. When they won the toss, they deferred. I think with an aggressive, high-scoring team, you want to take the ball, go score, put the pressure on Clemson, and get the game rolling.
The pressure was on LSU early.
The pressure was on LSU early because Clemson took the ball first, went down and scored, and before you knew it,
17 to
7, LSU was down. But then the light bulb went on.
And Joey Burrow, or Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Or Joe Cool.
Joe Cool Burrow, yeah.
He just carved him up.
He carved him up. He did.
How many times have we seen him just carve up, no matter how good the defense is, it's just...
He ended up being responsible for 6 touchdowns in this game. So
in the Natty?
In a little perspective.
What a way to perform
6
in the
touchdowns in the
game.
Natty, yeah. In the first playoff game, he was responsible for 8 touchdowns. In this championship game, he was responsible for 6 touchdowns. So in the 2 playoff
That's
games,
video game stuff.
14 touchdowns he was responsible for.
That's
in 2
video
games.
game stuff.
That is insane. He ended up with the most yards, most touchdowns, most. There's like 20 different records that he ended up breaking.
There's going to be people down the line in college football. We're going to compare them to Joe Burrow. Who's
Yeah.
going to be that next Joe Burrow?
I think that Joe. I honestly, personally think I've been watching football for a long time. That is the best team I have ever seen.
There's been like hundreds of teams over the years.
But there was a man. We called it from the first time we saw him play.
That man.
He is good. And then after he played 2 or 3 games, we thought we said him and Hurts were the best 2 quarterbacks
In the college football.
in college football. And then after 7 or 8 weeks, we were like, Joe Burrow is the best quarterback
in
out there.
college.
And LSU is the best team, period, bar none. And we rode that ship all the way to the Natty. We said every week, LSU's the
Every
best.
single
LSU's
week.
the best. LSU's the best. And LSU, by far, I
Is
mean,
the best.
they didn't just beat teams.
They just clobbered them.
I mean, think about that. Joe Burrow went into the 2 toughest games of the year, playing the number 2 team and the number 3 team and the number 4 team,
And carved them
and
up.
was responsible for 14 touchdowns. Not 3 touchdowns. 14 touchdowns in 2 games. At the end of the year, 7 of their wins were against top 10 teams when they played them. So they beat 7 top 10 teams out of their regular season schedule.
That is absurd. That is crazy.
It's just insane. You're not going to see a team do that again. You're just not going to see it.
Okay.
Somebody's going to take an L somewhere there. You can't play 7 top 10 teams and beat them all. That you just don't understand how that does not happen.
Oh, but Joe Burrow has something else to say. about that.
And there wasn't even a 17-16 win against Clemson or against Oklahoma. It was 63 points. You put up 8 touchdowns against Oklahoma. He put up 6 touchdowns against Clemson. They weren't squeakers. It was domination.
Just like even with a he was clearly hurting in that second half.
I think he got a bruised rib right before the
And he's
the halftime.
still
He came out at the
throwing
first time.
touchdowns.
He came back at the second half and was really queasy. Even I don't know if you noticed at the end of towards the end of the game when he was going up to his coach and he was pointing at that ring, his coach grabbed him and patted him. You can see. Go back look at the video. He winced. He hurt when Coach O grabbed him. So he was hurting, I think, through the whole second half of that game. We'll find out sometime exactly how much he was hurt. But
he still threw touchdowns even with a bruised rib.
yeah, it was something.
He's the
man.
definition of a cheat code.
Yeah, now we will see how good he really is now, though, because he's probably going to go be a Cincinnati Bengal.
Oh no. Oh no!
Yeah, I saw somebody say something the other day. It's like sending somebody to prison who's never committed a crime. Why would you go to Cincinnati? But honestly, he is a Ohio boy raised not too far outside of Cincinnati, and he wants to go to Cincinnati. Think about that: a Ohio raised boy goes and wins breaks all the records in high school, wins the Natty, comes back to his home state team, Cincinnati, and brings them back out into the playoffs. He would be a legend, dude. Not only in college and the pros. So it's gonna be fun to watch.
Okay, So do you think that Joe Burrow is the best quarterback that college football's ever seen?
That is the best performance for a year that I have ever seen of any quarterback.
So are we just gonna gonna say Joe every time we throw a ball now?
Yeah, go out. I mean, for a long time, teams are going to be compared to this team.
They're gonna be compared to these receivers who are clearly NFL worthy.
I mean, think about it. It ain't the Alabamas who's won 5 titles. It ain't the LSU. It ain't the Clemson's who's won 2 out of the past 4. It ain't. It's this team is going to be the one that's compared now because they were just that good.
They're just,
Now they lost their. We'll go ahead and talk about this.
Okay.
They lost their
offensive
coordinator who went to the Panthers to be the offensive coordinator there.
I'm excited for that.
They lost their defensive coordinator. He went to be the head coach of Baylor because Baylor's head coach left to go be the head coach of the
Panthers.
Carolina Panthers. By the way, the Panthers have got some coaches, man.
Yeah,
Hell.
I'm gonna be really excited
Yeah.
for Joe Brady coordinating our offense.
Yeah, so you no longer have your starting quarterback. You no longer have your wide receivers. You no longer have two of your coaches. LSU may have a year of struggle next year. I don't know. I don't know who's backing up Burrow, but I don't see how they could be as good as this after losing that much talent across the board with coaches and players too. So enjoy what you just saw with LSU because we may not see that again.
We may never see a quarterback like Joey Burrow or Joe or Cool Joe.
You had a receiver with 1,700 yards. Who, by the way, he broke all the NCAA records for. He had 20 touchdown catches and 1,700 yards receiving, which was college records. So the other Chase, the other receiver, Chase, the other receiver, had 17 touchdown catches and like 14, 1,500 yards. The running back had like over 1,000 yards rushing and 400 yards receiving as a running back. That's how prolific that offense was. It was dynamic across the board, and we're just not going to see that again. I don't know. I don't know if we ever will, but I guarantee it's not going to be in the near future. That was the perfect storm. That was the perfect storm.
I mean, well, to give credit to Clemson right now, they played well. They've really
They went in to win.
They went in to play.
They went in to
They
win
just
the
could
game.
not overcome all of that talent on LSU's side offensively.
No, I mean they went in and went up 17-7. They went in to win. They had a good game plan. I think the coach had a good game plan. It was just a buzzsaw, man. LSU was just that good. They weren't going to lose. They weren't going to lose anybody this year.
I mean,
Alabama's the only one that kept close to them,
I think
but they still won.
2019 LSU offense. We're just going to have to say 2019 LSU offense because that's
the
the
best
word
ever.
that we need to see, the term that you need to word to describe offense.
Yeah. So, but anyways, that is it for this year in college football. We hope you enjoyed it.
We hope you enjoyed the ride.
Yeah, we will be back for the start of the 2020 season. We may do a little pre-season video just to get started into the season. But that's it. We hope you enjoyed it. Hit some like buttons, some share buttons. Leave us some comments about what you like.
Hit the groovy baby button.
Hit the groovy baby button, which will be over here somewhere.
On my face.
Other than that, we are gone.
See you next week.